Hi there. Good morning. Welcome to Ridge Haven Life. My name is Ian, and in this video, I'd like to share a bit of the backstory of my Ridge Haven life. It started about 2.5 years ago when my late husband Ron and I arrived up here from the San Francisco Bay Area to this remote part of Northern California to realize a dream that we had of homesteading and living in a treehouse in the woods. We knew that there was so much that we didn't know, and we plowed ahead in beginning to develop this property, which we named Ridge Haven, to begin developing this property into a homestead. And it wasn't long after we arrived that we met my friend Casey. And as Casey was getting to know us in that initial conversation and realizing the transition that was underway for me and Ron, at one point, Casey got a smile on his face and kind of took a little bit of a step back and said, "Welcome to the woods." And in just those 4 words, Casey communicated so much about the transition that was underway. Ron and I were 2 city boys coming up to the mountains to realize this this crazy dream. And in hindsight, that also marked the beginning of my journey as a woodsman. As Ron passed just a few short months later, and I have continued on to live this dream that Ron and I were so lucky to be able to have realized. And also, Casey's statement signaled that I was welcome here in this environment that I knew so little about and had so much to learn from. When Ron and I arrived here, we had lived in urban, suburban environments our entire lives, and arriving from the Bay, we had a typical suburban house with a front yard that we had 3 small raised beds in, and that's where we learned and experimented initially with organic gardening, and also learned to love and appreciate the joy of growing your own food. The first time I had a snow pea that was grown in our front yard, it was something else. I was hooked, and so it was how we got started, and it was as we developed that little small garden. It was where we started thinking about what our next big chapter in life would be, and realized homesteading would be a part of it. And we were also very much influenced by the show Treehouse Masters, that convinced us that we needed to live in the woods, preferably a treehouse in the woods. And living in that sort of environment, working in downtown high rises, in office jobs, being in an area of the stereotypical California climate that you can hear so much about. It's very moderate, very temperate, where it doesn't get too hot, it doesn't get too cold. And so coming from that to up here, where I now have more than 20 acres of steep forested terrain in redwood country, to have well water, to be on propane, no garbage pickup, and so much else that is so different. And up here, compared to the city, this is effectively wilderness, with the wildlife and the living amongst the trees, and the solitude of it all. There's a line in a Billy Strings song that encapsulates it very well for me, by saying, "It's not hard to get lost if you want to." And that's definitely how life is like up here, or at least how I've been experiencing it. There's 4 seasons up here, clear 4 seasons. It snows. It can be above 100 degrees during the summer. So yeah, that moderate temperate California climate, that definitely is not the case up here. And living in this more wilderness environment, I'm really able to experience the natural world and the cycles of the earth in a way that just wasn't possible through day hikes or short backpacking trips, which had been my experience in the wilderness for the most part up until coming up here. I had never driven on a steep gravel road until I drove on this property. I had never lit a fire or held a chainsaw. And now I have a large firewood pile outside my house that I'll be using to heat my house during the winter. And I can wax poetic about the different types of trees and different types of wood, how they grow, how they burn, and just the madrone, the oak, the redwood, the bay, the fir, and just being amongst that as a woodsman. Also, just managing this property, managing the infrastructure, but also managing the forest, and being a steward of the land. It's not just about growing food in the 3 large greenhouses, where I'm scaling up what I had learned about gardening in our 3 small raised beds in our front yard in the suburbs. So having these large greenhouses now and this fruit tree orchard that I hope at some point to provide more than enough fruit that I'll ever need during the summer season. But beyond that, being a steward of this forest, and learning what that entails, and seeing the joys in it, and just being influenced by this more natural environment where it's not hard to get lost if you want to. And I am so fortunate for all of those that have been with me along the way. So many people have helped me and continue to help me. And, as I've been welcomed to the woods, because when you say welcome to the woods, it's not just about the trees and the land, it's the people as well. And to be able to go through this journey in Mendocino County, in this incredibly beautiful spot of Northern California, I could not be more grateful for that. It's just absolutely gorgeous up here with the forests and the fog and the mountains. And I will continue to learn and to adapt. There have been many firsts, and there will continue to be many firsts as I continue along in this journey, and I try to make homesteading work up here. The trials, the learnings, the successes, the not so successes. And lastly, I'm very thankful to be able to share that, to share much of my journey through this channel, to share the gardening projects in the greenhouses, to share the development of the fruit tree orchard, to share the beauty of this land as through the fog, the mountains, the sunsets, just so much that I'm grateful to be able to share, and I'm no expert. I'm no expert in in really anything here. I'm just I'm learning. and trying to make this my own. Trying to, just keep on trucking along, to keep on keeping on. Yeah, very, very grateful to have this opportunity to continue this dream that Ron and I had, and to be sharing it with all of you through this channel. So thanks so much for listening. That's a bit of my Ridgehaven life backstory, and how I've been so warmly welcomed to the woods up here. So yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy and take care.